So it's been a little bit. A couple things I wanted to talk about. Communication is important. You live by it or you die by it. And you can't live without it. Friendships, relationships, even bonds with family. You don't talk, you don't open the passageways of channels of communication. It dies. It just dies. There's no getting around that. And so we have so many ways of communicating. I mean, social media, YouTube videos, texting, lots of apps, phone calls, of course, and emails and things like that. But sometimes we over-communicate. I'm not necessarily talking about oversharing, because that can happen on accident. You can have building a friendship, and then you say more than the other person's comfortable with, but you hadn't gotten to the point where that area was discussed. Guilt. I've been on both sides of that, so I know it's possible. I don't mean over-communicating. We're so quick to talk, we're so quick to put our voice out there, our opinion, our viewpoint, that sometimes we don't even take the time to step back and assess the whole situation, whatever it may be, and just be like, is this worth communicating about? Is my opinion valid in this case? Does it matter? Am I adding to it, taking away from it? And you have to, every action, if actions have consequences, words have consequences too. Even if they're typed, even if you're behind this somewhat secrecy of, a Facebook account or a Twitter account or whatever it may be, you're still communicating to real people. And I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to any of you. That's why I have these videos on here. Is to just be vulnerable, be real, and show that, while I have the ability to give advice, it comes from a place of someone who's learning it himself. And so lately I've lost and gained friendships solely on that. Like, for one, I overdid something, and the person kind of drifted away. And eventually things made amends and we're okay, but you get so used to a flow, a rhythm of friendship, and you forget that life is a lot more nuanced. Yes, there are a lot of things in life that are black and white, wrong or right, but when it comes to communicating with people, especially people on the internet, there's a lot more nuance. There's a lot. And sometimes in our anonymous point of view of sharing whatever we think, we forget the nuance. I mean, that's why we have the and I'm not a big fan of talking about it on this channel, but the political echo chambers we have. I mean, those echo chambers are not just in the political sphere; they're in every sphere. It seems like these days, everyone wants to have their opinion and their group of people, and anyone else isn't involved. And so I'm thankful that even through this platform, I hope I'm able to reach across and be like, if you agree with me, that's wonderful. If you disagree with me, that's okay too. That's what channels like Say Goodnight Kevin kind of inspire that. He doesn't have a channel that's just people that agree with his view on movies or his view on politics or his view on whatever else he chooses to talk about. There's discussions, really good discussions in his comments sometimes, and there's really good points brought up in his videos that are nuanced, especially in more of his recent ones. And it's really cool to see that while the headlines and the main sources of whatever the subject matter may be is always this side versus that side, us versus them, red versus blue, or whatever, there's people out there that are willing on the big scene to be nuanced. But then when you have to break that down, you have to come that all the way down to the bare minimums, like me and my friendships, me and my bonds with my family, me and co-workers, me and classmates or whatever, me and you guys, me and people, my friends and acquaintances on my other social media, like, and you and your spheres of influence and your interactions with the people you care about and the people you disagree with and the people you care about and disagree with. So it's just important to just take time to take steps back and look at the bigger situation. Not always be, as the Bible says, don't always be quick to speak, be slow to speak. Quick to listen, If you only seek those you agree with, you'll only find those you agree with. And who knows, maybe you'll miss something. I mean, even if I never agree with some of the points of view that I interact with on social media and etc., I would never know where they're coming from if I didn't reach out and listen. And you learn a lot coming out of your shell and it's just important to know that communication is important and nuance is important. And not letting yourself get swept up into vitriol and bitterness. Just taking a step back and thinking before we speak, or write, or type. That's really all I wanted to say in this video. Thank you for listening. If you have managed to make it this far, feel free to just see what else is on here, and I'll try and post more consistently. No promises. Every time I've said I will do, and it doesn't happen. Something always comes up. But this is important, and you are important. And no matter what, remember, you are not alone. There's always someone for you.